Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi viewers, we are from Group 5 from 1 RKI Nurse class. So today we will present our presentation in biochemistry course with hormonal regulation for the topic. Before we start our presentation, I would like to introduce all the group members. There are Anjuliana Putri Andrianti Smith, and myself, Nurhalisah Nabila, Safra Nurusita Alfi Muzakir, Siva Kartika Agustin, Talita Fadiah Ulima, and the last is Yumna Aziza. There are the theory that we are gonna discuss in this section. First, the meaning of hormones. Second, hormone classification. Third, assay or we can say determination. Fourth, hormone mechanism of action. Fifth, hormone secretion regulation. Sixth, hypothalamus. Seventh, pituitary. Eighth, gonads. And the last is placenta hormone.
The meaning of hormone. A hormone is an organic chemical that is produced in cells or groups of normal and healthy cells or glands, secreted directly into the blood, carried to the at a distance where the hormone act, target organ. It is produced in large quantities, small, but has great influence and serve to integrate as well coordinate body function. Hormone classification. Hormone based on their effect on reproductive physiology can be classified into two groups, namely hormones that directly affect reproduction is primary reproductive hormones, and hormones that indirectly affect reproduction is secondary reproductive hormones. Meanwhile, based on their chemical structure, hormones are divided into protein, steroid, amine, and fat hormones.
Hi viewers, my name is Nurhalisah Nabila. So now I will explain the theory about assay or we can say the determination and the mechanism hormone of action. So now I will start from the first theory that is about assay or determination. Determination is a various kinds of hormone assays have been carried out to determine the type, reaction of a hormone and hormone levels at the time. The method start from the simple method, that is the biology method, then the ablation method, such as ELISA, RIA, PBA, and RRA. So now I will continue for the second theory, that is mechanism hormone of action. All hormones to the target organ always through the blood circulation. Then it can be spread throughout the body and can communicate with all cells which has been passed. But only target organs show the response, while the non-target organ cells didn't show a response. This is due to the receptors which is in the cell wall or in the cytoplasm of the target cell. This receptor is hypothetically composed of several specific protein sequences. Specifically mean are receptor proteins that only recognize one kind of hormone and cause one or some type of typical reaction from target cells.
The hypothalamus. The hypothalamus in vertebrates is located at the base of the brain, or cella turcica. It includes the optic chiasma, tuber cinerum, mammillary pedis, median eminence, infundibulum or hypophyseal stalk, and pars nervosa. The hypothalamus has been known to receive information from the sense, integrate it, and share and transmit it to the organs of interest. This process works autonomously, but the size and speed of distribution depends on the genetic characteristic of the individual. Neurohumoral control of adenohypophysa is based on anatomical and physiological data that the hypothalamic nerve fiber secretes hormones into the hypothalamic-hypophyseal portal blood vessels. Several kinds of hormones originating from the hypothalamus control the function of the pituitary. These hormones are FSH, RH, or LHRH, oxytocin, vasopressin, TRH, ACTH, RH, STH, RH, PIH, and GIH, or somatostatin. Hormone secretion regulation. The endocrine system is a highly sensitive regulatory system, regulating animal behavior and physiology to changes in the internal and external environment. The internal environment is regulated to maintain a balance of nutrients or substances in the body, while changes in body activity occur rhythmically during periods of rest or sleep are active one after another. Therefore, there is a rhythmic daily cycle. Reproduction and growth events occur in certain seasons and environmental conditions. Migration events or long trips to anticipate suitable climatic conditions are carried out by several types of animals, all of which are influenced by hormones. This shows that the endocrine system is influenced by stimuli received through the nervous organ. In short, the endocrine glands are directly controlled by the nervous system. The stimulation of the neurosecretory cell of the hypothalamus is an excellent example of this. In the body, processes such as reproduction, growth, metabolism, and others are influenced by two or more hormones. These hormones work together to bring about positive changes. For these hormones to work properly, there is a regulation system that allows a balance between secretory activity and inhibition of hormone secretion in the body. The arrangement was mainly done on the feedback mechanism or servo mechanism. There are two kinds of feedback mechanism, namely positive feedback and negative feedback. In general, the negative feedback mechanism play a much bigger role than the positive feedback mechanism in maintaining the balance and harmony of work and secretion between hormones. Endocrine glands in the normal state and its resting state have a constant amount of secretion, and this amount is influenced by the concentration of humoral or nerve excitatory factor acting on this organ. For example, if the concentration of the blood sugar increases or hyperglycemia, this increase in concentration is a stimulus for the formation of insulin, which accelerates the removal of sugar from the blood. While the state of hypoglycemia stimulates the formation of epinephrine, which accelerates the release of sugar into the blood from the liver. Also, the regulation of the trophic hormone secretion is affected by deficiency of gonadal, thyroid, or adrenal cortex hormone secretion, while administration of these hormones will reduce the secretion of this trophic hormone.
Well, thank you. I'm Siva Kartika will explain the pituitary gland. What is about the pituitary gland? The pituitary gland, or PG, which is a relatively small anatomical structure that is situated deep within the head at the base of the skull, deep in the pit of the sphenoid bone, is surrounded by the optic chiasm, blood vessels, and other important brain structures. It consists of the larger part, 18% of the PG size, called in anterior pituitary lobe, are known by adenohypophysis, intermediate lobe, and posterior pituitary lobe, or neurohypophysis, all of them connected to the hypothalamus by the pituitary stalk. Let me tell you about the adenohypophysis. The adenohypophysis is responsible for the majority of the signaling hormones released into the bloodstream through the well-developed hypothalamic hypophyseal portocapillary system that drains into hypothalamic hypophyseal portal veins. And what about the posterior pituitary lobe, or called by neurohypophysis, consisting of three distinct regions, are pars nervosa, or called by posterior lobe, which includes herring bodies and pituitary situs. Infundibulum, pituitary stalk, which connects the hypothalamic and hypophyseal systems, unless median eminence or MA, which is included as part of the posterior pituitary. Unless the pituitary stalk contains the fibers of the neurohypophysis connecting the posterior lobe to the supraoptic nucleus or SON and paraventricular nucleus (PVN) of the hypothalamus and the portal venous system, transmitting hypothalamic peptides that control anterior lobe secretion.
Hi viewers, my name is Safran Rusita Alfim Zakir. So now I will explain the theory about gonads. Gonads are the primary reproductive organs. In males they are called testes and in females they are called ovaries. Generally, the hormones produced by the gonads are steroid hormones, namely the force androgen or testosterone. Produced by Leydig cell in the testes, testosterone is required for sexual differentiation of external sex organs, growth and continuity of function of the accessory sex glands which produce semen plasma during ejaculation, affects libido and erectile ability during ejaculation, affects secondary sex characteristic and maintains spermatogenesis. The second is estrogen. Produced by the ovaries, estrogen is required for the physiological manifestation of estrus, affects the growth of the uterine endometrium, histological change in the vaginal epithelium during the estrus cycle, affects the growth of the mammary gland that during lactation, control the release of pituitary hormones FSH and LH, is responsible for the development of the characteristic secondary sex in females, sensitizes the uterine muscles to oxytocin, releases the cervix, vagina and vulva and causes uterine tone. The third, progesterone. It is a hormone secreted by the corpus luteum cells of the ovary. Progesterone is needed to maintain pregnancy by inhibiting spontaneous uterine movement and abolishing or decreasing myometrial response to oxytocin, inhibiting FSH and LH secretion, thereby preventing estrus ovulation and the estrus cycle, together with estrogen causing the growth and development of the mammary gland alveolar system. The last, relation. In addition to being produced by the corpus luteum, it is also produced by the placenta. The function of relation stimulates the separation of the pubic symphysis in guinea pigs and facilitates parturition, causing cervical dilation in pigs, cattle, rats, also facilitates parturition.
Hello everyone, my name is Angeliana Putrandrianti Smith. I want to explain about hormone placenta. The first, channeling oxygen and nutrition into the fetus. A fetus needs oxygen and nutrition to live and develop well in the womb. But to get it does when the fetus breathes through the mouth or eat to the mouth. The second, removing water from filled blood. Besides supplying oxygen and nutrition, the placenta also works to dispose of metabolites, resources that the fetus no longer needs. The third, producing pregnancy support hormone. No less important function of the placenta is the production of pregnancy hormone, estrogen, progesterone, and human chorionic gonadotropin (ECG). Therefore, it protects the fetus from bacterial infection. It protects the fetus from bacterial infection. The placenta also as a barrier to the bacteria that may be present in the mother's body. And the last, channeling antibodies from the mother to the fetus. In the last day of pregnancy, the placenta will transfer the antibodies that the mother has to the fetus. These antibodies can provide immunity to the young one in order to avoid illness.
That's all from us, and thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.